I do not support corruption.
Bless up. I am one Avenue. Welcome forward to the Avenue, our loyal viewers and subscribers. Today on the Avenue, we will be looking at what Usain Bolt said on the fix, and we will be looking at Cliffhughes' response to Usain Bolt. And we will also be looking at Usain Bolt legal team, what they have to say about all of this and the response they have for the critics. My people, what is your thoughts on all of this? Leave your views in the comment section below and let us have that discussion. And if you are new here, welcome to the Avenue. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Avenue. So my people, let's get into it.
So what the latest that you can tell the people in regards to?
But I tell you, big man, nothing. That's why I tell you, nothing now really go on. That's why I say the only way we can make some man see me apply some pressure and talk about it and try, because it have to talk about us, bring up back and we figure out how to go about it. But we have a team to talk about it and figure out how to go about it. Then.
Is it that you have a mindset to like talk about it like internationally?
At some point, yeah, it have to happen. Because the more international press you get, sorry for Jamaica, but I forget about my money.
Remember my people, after 2 years, Usain Bolt waiting for some response from the government entity that should do this investigation, and waiting and not getting any response, and decided to come and talk now, my people. The government of Jamaica, the Labour Party members, launch an attack against this man. But now, my people, it is so bad that to see that one of the major media houses in the island is trying to distort the whole thing. So my people, listen to what Cliffhughes got to say, and you can see and understand for yourself, and leave your thoughts and views in the comment below. So let's get into it.
What Nationwide reported yesterday was not entirely new. What is new is the reporting we now have that the international forensic investigators have now corroborated what came out in court in 2024, March 2024, and was reported by, and here is the story, from the Observer, the Sunday Finance Observer. And it's entitled, "Was Usain Bolt's Money Ever Invested? The Precipitous Fall of SSL." The difference between this report that was done March 2024 and what Nationwide's George Davis reported yesterday is the fact that the forensic investigators have now corroborated.
Some people, as you can hear, and see, what was have said and done, So what is your thoughts on all of that? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below and let us have that discussion. Some people, let's move on now. So in this one, my people, we will be focusing on what Usain Bolt legal team got to say, because there's a member of his legal team being interviewed by CVM, or a journalist from CVM. So let's get into it and hear what he got to say, and we will get a clearer understanding of what's going on, my people. Let's get into it.
All right, so Mr. Gordon, thank you, sir, for joining us. I'm trying to Hey, I'm doing it in comment. All right, sorry about that, sir. So first, let me get from you what you make of this furor that's taking place over the comments Mr. Bolt made about the funds that are missing from his account.
All right. First of all, I think we should be fair to Mr. Bolt and understand when he said the government to give me back my money, or some words to that effect, or the government must do something about it. One must understand that Mr. Bolt is not an attorney. He was not speaking in any forensic way to say the government has my money. He's saying that we have a government in Jamaica. Something has gone wrong at a financial institution. Something must be done about it. The matter has been moving along slowly, both in the criminal court and in the civil court. Now, persons ought not to ascribe to Mr. Bolt a political motive because he says the government should do something. That's very petty and without any merit whatsoever. But what has happened is that persons have now come down on Mr. Bolt and are saying, look, it's your fault why you have lost your money. And they are now entering into this victim blame, where you blame the person who suffered the loss or the damage and say it's your fault why you suffer this misfortune. And this is very, very unfortunate. And this is something that we believe we should discontinue, and we should understand that he's entitled to demand that the government does something about it. And there are reasons why he's so entitled. One of them is that the FSC, the body that is set up to regularize, manage, control, and see to it that financial institutions are compliant with the law, gave a certificate each year to SSL. So anybody who goes there, including the Prime Minister who had an account there, government departments and several members of parliament who had accounts there, they relied on the fact that the entity obtained a certificate from the Financial Services Commission, the FSC, and therefore they presume properly that the place is in good standing and a safe place to put your money. So you can't blame Mr. Bolt for going there. You'd have to blame all the other persons who went there.
So
we find that he's demanding that the government should do something about it. Is the type of demand that citizens make when they are not satisfied that a matter being investigated by various government entities is going as quickly as he would like it to go. He was not ascribing any political favor, political support, or political condemnation. He was just demanding government action, which is common and is said by people, persons all over. Something happens,
so when you say
and
government,
they're not satisfied that it's been there too quickly.
So when you say government action, sir, what specifically, if anything, is Mr. Bolt requesting?
Okay. The matter is being investigated, and one person has been charged. That person could be described as a low-level employee or officer of the entity. It is more than curious that nobody else has been charged, and how can it be that not only Mr. Bolt's money, but all the other persons, including several senior citizens, their monies disappear from this entity, and nobody is being called upon? The officers, the senior persons who would have to transfer those funds. Because bear in mind that Mr. Bolt's funds were not taken in a basket or a scandal bag and put on a counter or put on the floor. It was bank transfer. It was transferred from a financial institution to SSL. So how did it leave SSL without a trace? It's not someone took up a bag of money and walk out. Checks and bank transfers were done to move this money. Why this can't be found? What has happened? What has happened to the computers that disappear mysteriously? Why are we not having fulsome disclosure of the investigation of this matter? And why nobody else is even being interrogated that we know of?
Is there attestable proof, sir, that the funds actually got to the account? Because one of the accusations that's out there now is that the money was stolen before it actually got to the account. You've said it differently.
Well, let's deal with that. Who has the record, the information that the money was stolen and was not sent to SSL? Who has that information? And why not take it to the police and identify the person who stole the money? Why? Why this big red herring without a head nor a tail? Why? Well, let me tell you, Mr. Bolt's money was sent to SSL by bank transfers. The investigations conducted by Mr. Ken Tomlinson, who was put in charge by the FSC, his records confirm that Mr. Bolt's money was sent there. The persons who are saying it was stolen, which started at a certain media house, has not presented one bit of evidence to say it was stolen on the 10th of March and the amount stolen was $5 or $6. A red herring has been thrown across the path, and the question is, what's the motive for doing that?
I want to ask you what you think the motive is for doing that, and what do you make
Sorry?
of I want to ask you what you think is the motive for doing that, and what do you make of sections of the portions of the investigation being leaked without the public or yourself or your client being apprised of the entire situation?
Well, two things to be said about that. I am not aware that any part of the report from the investigators has been leaked. I'm not aware of that. If persons are saying they got parts of it by a leakage, then that would be something to be condemned and to question the reliability of the investigation, because they have taken bits and parts and leak it to their media of choice. Then you need to know why and why at this point it is being leaked, especially given the fact that the learned DPP is in today's newspaper as saying she's now ready to go to trial. What is happening?
Are you and your client a part of the investigation, as in have the authorities been reaching out to you or your client to get further information about what might have taken?
No, we have not been contacted for further information, and we have not been contacted by the investigators or the prosecutor regarding this leakage of information that the money never got to SSL. We have not been contacted about that. And we don't know from which source the leakage took place and how the leakage went to one entity and what's the power, right, and privilege of that entity to which the leakage went.
Can you speak, sir, a little bit about, I know that your client was on a podcast earlier this week expressing what is understandable frustration about the situation. But
Yes.
Can you speak further to what his considerations are, particularly for a country that he has given so much to, and the fact that he is now down millions of US dollars, and he seems not to be getting the type of response that he wants? Is he comfortable remaining here, or
Is he comfortable with what?
remaining here, or is he comfortable, or is he confident in the institutions that we have?
His confidence in the institutions we have has been shaken. For obvious reason. He has lost a lot of money. He is being kept abreast of what is happening in the courts and how the matter is being proceeded with. He's not comfortable with the way we are being informed about the results of the investigations. We know that foreigners were brought here. Investigations were complete, we are told. But his attorneys have not been afforded the privilege of even looking at any results from these investigations. And the reports would have been handed over to some government department, and if they have been leaked, maybe persons at those government departments or entities considered disclosure to a certain media is more important, more urgent than disclosure to the victims or the attorneys of the victims, which would be an appalling act of corruption were that to be the case.
Have you made any overtures, sir, to get further information? And have you...
Yes. Yes, we have constantly asked for information on various matters that we consider we should be made aware of.
What has been the response or the outcome?
We have not gotten the responses we need in all instances.
And you've said in a release that you sent out
today... Sorry? It's a what? I didn't hear you.
I'm saying you sent out a statement today saying that you would be making certain evaluations to determine what next legal actions you will take. Have you come to some conclusion about where you...
No, not yet. We have not. We are awaiting certain responses and further and better information on certain matters.
All right. So as we close, sir, is there anything...
Sorry, has what?
Is there anything that you would want to say to the authorities or to the public who might be looking on and wondering what is taking place?
Yes. I want the public to understand that Mr. Bolt was in an interview which was very informal, and he spoke like a typical Jamaican. Mr. Bolt has no interest or intention to become in any political discussion or interpretation of his misfortune. When he speaks of the government should do something about it, he's speaking as a layman and not as an attorney. He's not saying that it's a political decision why he has suffered and it's anything to do with politics. He's just saying, do something about it. And the government did promise to do something about it. Dr. Clark, the then finance minister, did say heads would roll. So there's nothing wrong with what Mr. Bolt has said, and we should never interpret it as meaning he's anti-government or in any political canvassing or supporting one party or the other. Nothing like that. It's typical of Jamaicans whenever anything happens that the government is partially responsible for, and the government is somewhat responsible for allowing SSL to keep going all these years when they knew that there was a problem there and they kept issuing them with license. So there's nothing wrong with his demand.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you, sir, believe that there is any political malfeasance at play here? I'll leave the question at that.
I would say that the coincidence of certain persons coming forward to give legitimacy to the allegation that Mr. Bolt's money went the wrong place is uncomfortable and is not consistent with a general view in the public. That's what I would put it.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Gordon.
You're most welcome, sir. Have a good afternoon.
So as you can hear, my people, As you can hear the discussion, you know. So what is your thoughts on all of this? Leave your thoughts and views in the comment section below and let us have that discussion. So my people, if you are new, you're welcome to the space. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That's all for now. I'm out. Catch you in the next one.